Hello and welcome back to Sully's Models, and I thought I'd do a little bit of an update video as you know we come up to the end of the year. It's been an interesting one, obviously, you know, with the good old Rona, but you know, it's coming to a close. Hopefully next year is going to be better, but what I want to say first of all really is thank you guys so much. We finally hit 1,000 subscribers a couple of weeks ago, you know, and I do really honestly really appreciate it. You guys have been so supportive, not only on here, on Facebook and Instagram as well. You know, you gave me some really nice comments. You know, you gave me some really good suggestions. You've helped me out with things, you know, and most of all, you gave me some really great words of encouragement, and sort of, you know, sort of reinforces that I think this is a good idea for me to do it. But you know, you guys are enjoying it. I'm really enjoying it. You know, posting this content for you guys. But yeah, just, you know, I'm glad you enjoy it. I hope you still continue enjoying it. I'd also like to thank you guys for the guys that have donated. You know, that's really appreciated. I love you guys. It's great. Of course, that all comes back into the channel. You know, of course, it's paying for supplies and materials and whatnot. So it helps us. You know, it helps me. You know, obviously, just to keep, you know, moving forward and do more stuff. On a note with that, well, I will be, not sure on the date yet, but I'll obviously keep you guys updated on it, but possibly January, February time, I'll be rolling out my, rolling out a Patreon account, you know, but what I don't want you guys to think is that with me doing this, we were doing a Patreon account, that, you know, you're going to feel obliged, well, not you would feel obliged to be a patron, but I'm not going to be doing, you know, solely Patreon stuff. I don't want to be doing that. I want everybody to sort of, you know, sort of be included. You know, so I'm not really going to be doing sort of Patreon only things. There might be, there is probably one or two things on there that probably are going to be more just for Patreon, which is only going to be sort of like little vlogs, which, you know, because I want to try and do, I'll probably do more regular updating on it, and maybe a little bit more in depth, so that's probably where the vlog part comes into it. But of course, I mean, obviously what I do in that, or what I talk about in that, will be in the main videos anyway. You know, so because I don't want people to be missing out. I don't want people to feel obliged to have to, you know, to keep up with what I'm doing and, you know, wanting to follow what I'm doing and thinking, oh, I'm going to pay money to do it. And I don't want to be doing that. It's not, you know, you probably go, oh, sorry, I'm not going to bother, which is fine. I do understand that. Fully appreciate it as well. You know, so it's not, nothing's really particularly is going to change with that. So you're still going to get my relatively regular updates on if you follow us obviously on Facebook and Instagram. I can now do more updates. I can actually do updates on Facebook, on Instagram now, because I've hit the 1k subs. Quite annoying that is, that you've got to get so far to be able to get these benefits, but that's the way it works, I suppose. You know, so yeah, so nothing is going to be taken away from anybody that doesn't want to, you know, pledge or donate, and I'm absolutely fine with that, because it says I don't want to be, you know, analysing people. Is that the right word? Yeah, maybe. I don't know. I'm not good with words, but I don't want to be, you know, shunting people aside. You know, I want everybody to have the same sort of, you know, access to the content. Anyway, so you know, so yeah, so it's been a really good, you know, for this. It's been a really good year. You know, we've got a lot built through the year. You know, got a lot done. Obviously, you know, like the channel and my pages, they've grown as well. So, you know, it's been a really good and positive year on that side of things. You know, we've recently done, the last one was the Skyline build, which is called the Knackers Yard, which was like kind of like a normal series, but it was also like a how-to series at the same time. So we're looking at chipping and rust weathering and how to build a tree and a vignette. So you know, I really enjoyed doing that one. I want to try and hopefully do more of that, because a couple of months, or about a month ago, I put a couple of polls out to see what people would kind of like want to see from me, because of course normally, I mean, if you've been following for a while, or if you haven't, you go back through me stuff, mostly, and sort of I'd like to say my area of kind of expertise is more aircraft. So, you know, you get just mainly aircraft, but now and again I get to a point where, you know, I get either kind of a bit bored or more frustrated, and I'm thinking I need to do something different, because, you know, you don't want to start getting bored of it and just not enjoying it, and, you know, so I go out and do something a little bit different. So, you know, that could be something like, I don't know, like a tank, or, you know, like the Skyline build, because, you know, during the lockdown as well, particularly, you know, things were, you know, struggling a little bit and keeping the mojo going, and, you know, so, and I'd also got a commission build to do, which was quite challenging, which was the SE5 from Revell, which was a 48 scale one. Though I did enjoy doing it, doing that rigging was an absolute nightmare, which I knew it was going to be, but, you know, it turned out good in the end. The customer, Steve, was more than happy with it. Well, he tells me he was anyway. I assume he's telling me the truth. You know, so it got to that point where it's like, I need to do something a little bit different, because I'm going to go off the wall otherwise. So I happened to have been on holiday at the time, and I bought the Skyline. I also bought, as again, sort of doing something different, which is going to be coming up next, which is Italieri's 1/9 Triumph dispatch motorbike. So that'll be coming up in the next couple of days. There's only going to be 2 episodes of that one, because you know, there's not much to build on it really. So most of it was probably more weathering. Probably did more of that than I did actually building it. So there's going to be 2 episodes of that coming out. The first one I said should be in the next 3 or 4 days. Hopefully, I've just got to finish a few bits and pieces off on that. So it's nearly there. So yes, that's up next. So yeah, so I've gone off the boil a little bit there. So with the poll, what I did is I asked if people would want to see, you know, more aircraft, and then the occasion of doing something different, or you know, like a bit of a mix of models. So, you know, you'll be getting like a couple of aircraft, and then, you know, maybe like, I don't know, like a car or a tank or something, just something a little bit different, sort of mixed in. So I think in a way that'll be good, maybe for all of us really. You know, keep things sort of mixed, doing different things. You know, so that could be quite cool. But, you know, let me know what you think in the comment section. But I think that's the way we're going to go down. The route we're going to go down with that. You know, so it says it's going to, you know, hopefully make things definitely going to make things a little bit interesting for me. You know, so, you know, yeah. So try and mix things up a little bit, and just I don't want things to go stale. I know, you know, a lot of channels and tend to sort of stick with a certain genre kind of thing. So, you know, like one channel will only do aircraft and one channel will only do tanks and stuff like that. And that might have been the reason why most of you follow me, is because the aircraft. So again, let me know what you reckon. But I says we're probably going to look down. Well, I say it's going to be down that route. Just, you know, again, make things interesting. So what we have got coming up, as has got the Italieri Triumph motorbike coming up. After that, we've got Airfix's 1/72 Wellington. Now I usually steer clear of 72nd because it's not a scale that I enjoy modelling really, but you know, when it comes to a bomber you kind of have to, because otherwise it's just going to be ridiculous. So even though I would like to do either like the Lancaster or B17 32nd scale, that would be really cool to do. Where to put it afterwards is another complete different matter. A friend of mine has lent my work 2 of these Lancasters, and they are absolutely awesome. And I'm kind of thinking I'd like to, but they are a good chunk of money as well, let alone somewhere to store it. So the Wellington, that's something I've been kind of actually looking forward to do for quite a while, since that come out, because it was actually the first model I made on my own, which again, it was Airfix, it was 72nd. I think it was a 1975 kit or thereabouts. It was old. It's got raised panel lines. I would say it's a naff fit, but that's probably down to me as well, because I wasn't obviously particularly that good at the time. It was my first model. So that was something I've been really looking forward to doing. So it's kind of like you know, this is how I started out, and kind of like this is how I've got to, kind of thing. But the detail in that model is absolutely fantastic. One thing I will say about it is I don't understand why they've put so much level of detail into the model and not put a clear side in it, because it is very well detailed. You know, it's almost, I think it's pretty much exactly the same as the real thing. So it's kind of a shame that you got all that, and you know, you can't see it really at all. You know, it's not really, even on the real thing, there's not really many clear you know, windows or anything on it. So you know, and then after that one is I forgot what they actually called it, but it's I've got the in front of me. Metarts. I'm not going to try and pronounce it, French, but that one. So it's the auto gyro, which I'm sort of doing a little bit on at the moment. So that will be the 3 confirmed definite up next in that run. Most likely after that is going to be 2 Spitfires, both Mark 9s. One is going to be RAF. The other one was a privately owned one, and I think it was used as a racer. So it's all in red. It's one that Airfix, I think, is just, I think they've recently, within the last few months, maybe even a bit further back than that, have just brought that out. So that one in particular would be is a commission build, and I thought, well, because I've got one, the exact same kit, but in the RF version, as I said, to build and to be put up for sale. So I'll do them both, build them both together, and I will show the differences in how I've done each one, because of course the privately owned one is going to be probably a lot cleaner, so that's going to be difficult for me. That's going to be a challenge in itself for me to do. I haven't actually asked the customer on actually how he wants it done yet, because we're still finalising a few bits with that. So that could be a complete clear model. I've got to do a good gloss finish. Never done one of those before, so I'm going to have to get some stuff for that, and my test aircraft to try it out on. But of course I'll show the 2. I don't think I'll do them as 2 separate series. I think I'll probably do them as in the same. I might just do the finishes on different, maybe 2 different ones. Maybe I'll look into it when I get to it, because I haven't quite figured that one out yet. I've also got I did start it at the start of lockdown, but because of the commission build, and then I got excited about doing something else. I've got a Hurricane to build, which also will be up for sale. I still have the P40 and Messerschmitt 108. They're still up for sale. So what I'll do is I'll put in the description below. I'll put a link to my eBay account if anybody's interested. So you can still find those there. But in saying that, somewhere I'm going to try and slip in. I just haven't decided which yet. I'm going to try and probably somewhere in that lot. I'm going to slip in a tank because, like I said, I want to try and mix things up. And of course, so there's a lot of people have voted to do the mix. So I'm trying to figure out what I want to do. And it's pretty much since that poll has gone out. It was always going to be a tank. It was just which one. And I'm looking at a couple, 2 types, but 2 different manufacturers, or a couple of different manufacturers. It was either the King Tiger or the Jag Panther. Yeah. So it's either for both these Tamiya, or, and actually I'm saying that I think the other 2 were tack-on kits. The King Tiger in particular, I know comes with all the internal gear, which I'm starting to lean towards, and I think they also do one. I think they also do the Jag Panther with the internal, or somebody does do one with the internal. I've forgotten which now. Either way, I've got a kind of like a little vignette in mind for it. I'm not going to spoil the surprise on it because I've got it in my head and trying to work it out. And depending on, I'd like to do the one with the internal because I think I've got a really good idea for it, and it's just figuring out how to execute it. So yeah, that's one that's definitely coming up at some point. But it will definitely be soon. It will most likely be after the commission build, because I've actually managed to get myself quite far ahead than I normally. In a way, this lockdown business has kind of helped me quite a bit in some respects. So I could to get myself a bit further ahead and figure things out. So yeah. I'll lose the train of thought. So that's what's going to happen. That's what I've got planned for at least the beginning part of the year. Don't think I've got anything in particular. Just looking at the stuff. No, not that I can think of at the moment. So that's what's been happening. That's what's coming up. I won't be doing one of these before Christmas. So I hope you guys enjoy your Christmas or whatever, holiday or whatever you guys celebrate at this time of year. I'm usually glad it's over because it just does my head in. I know I'm bar hunger, work with Scrooge. The other half tells me all the time, but it just does my head in. But yeah, so I hope you guys have a good holiday, whichever it is. Again, really appreciate you guys. The support again has been absolutely amazing. You guys have helped me out in so many different ways. It's given me a really big. I mean, it did earlier in the year, but this has given me, at this time now, it's given me a massive confidence boost in doing this and carrying it on and doing more. So again, thank you guys ever so much again for the support and for watching. And so the Triumph will be out relatively soon. So put the bell notification if you haven't done so already. Of course, then it will notify you when it's out. So again, thank you guys, and I'll catch you again soon.